the AP email. In the AP email, these are being managed by the AP specialist on a daily basis, and they review them to separate those invoices by letter or by assigned type. Right now, we have four categories for the invoices. The categories are invoices that are being sent to procurement partners to run through the workflows there. The second categories are insurance and utilities, which are assigned to Ethel and Mona. They are reviewing those and processing them and ensuring that we are tracking them on a monthly basis. And then the fourth category is the invoices for suppliers and services. Those that are not going through procurement partners and are basically like one-off services for those vendors. Now, invoices that we receive that are just being sent over to procurement partners, um, there are two types of vendors that are in procurement partners. One is an online vendor, and those vendors are integrated with procurement partners for orders and for invoicing. So the communities can log in and place orders directly to those vendors, and those vendors will process the orders and then submit an invoice for them directly through procurement partners. And once those invoices are received, they are reviewed for coding by the accounts payable team and submitted to the workflows once they are reviewed and completed. Now, the workflows are set up to get approvals from the person that ordered the items, and it's usually a department head. Uh, the thresholds I am not sure about, but they will kick up to a regional for review. And then from there, it's returned back to AP for final review and approval to be transmitted to SAGE. And that transmittal occurs overnight. We receive a file for uploading the invoices from procurement partners. That file needs to be manipulated a little bit by the AP processor in order to upload it into Sage. They will just change the what is it? It's the terms, the due date for each invoice because the terms weren't completely updated in procurement partners. Now, the other invoices that go through procurement partners are considered offline vendors, and there's a module there that's called Simple AP. The invoices are sent to dedicated emails for each facility that we manage or own, and an OCR system that is provided through procurement partners will read the invoice and add the vendor, add the invoice information, the invoice number, date, and also read each line item and assign it a expense code. Those invoices also need to be reviewed by an AP specialist once just to ensure that all of the information is correct and that the vendor is applied correctly. They need to also ensure that all of the expense codes are assigned to each line item correctly. And once that is, they complete the invoice, they submit it through the same workflow for online vendors, which will go to a department head, regional, and then back to AP. Once those are also done, they will be transmitted to through email for us to upload. The next thing that we do is invoices that are directly input to Sage. We normally receive those for one-time suppliers and services. We are trying to integrate that into the Simple AP process for review and approval. We normally go off of the email that the the community sends to us as approval for processing. And those invoices are uploaded into Sage as a bill. All of the information is entered by an AP processor. They will select the vendor, enter the invoice information, the date, review the terms, ensure that the vendor's remittance address is up to date, and then enter in each line item for the expenses that are on the invoice. Sometimes they just bulk enter the total if it's just one expense code. And then they separate out any additional fees that may be associated with those invoices. Those are directly posted. They once completed into Sage, and they will be reflected on the GL account once they post those invoices. Now, for the payment run, each invoice is set up with terms, so we review those invoices on a weekly basis. When selecting them for their payment types, we have 3 payment types that we use in payables. The first one is the auto pays, which are invoices that we've set up with the services to automatically draw payment from our bank accounts on a monthly basis for those services. These services are usually utilities, insurance, and internet services, phone services that we may have set up. The other ones are EFT, electronic payments, that are submitted online. These are invoices that provide information for online access. We'll go in and pay those directly through a website, doing an electronic payment, authorizing them to draw money from our accounts. And the last form of payment is a check, and those are drawn on a weekly basis depending on the terms for the vendor. All right, that's the payment run. That's a lot of information right now, and I know there's probably some stuff that I need.
That's all right. I mean, there's a lot more detail to that,
Yeah.
right? But
Yep.
let's get an outline. Let's get a diagram, and then we can start drilling into it, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So some of the flaws that we have is Sage doesn't follow the approval process, right? And we can't document in Sage or validate in Sage that someone reviewed the invoice and approved it for payment. It's all done outside of the system, which is terrible. It's not auditable. And it leaves us for room for error, really, right? I don't know. The only solution that we said okay, maybe we can send all of the invoices into procurement partners. But there was a flaw with that, right?
Yes. So right now the flaw is we haven't sent them a clean vendor list to add all of the vendors that we currently have, so we can send those invoices in. And then second is ADK, because of the setup with them, we can automatically transmit the upload file, because right now that's what we have to do when we receive it. We assign the location codes for ADK to make sure that they match. But with their automatic process, for some reason they're not able to identify each location that's under ADK, so it just comes under that E800.
Right. Remember, I told you what the problem is with that? It's connecting to the entity and not location.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to make a change in Sage. I think I know what the issue is. I think what we need to do is, for every entity, that we have, we need to create a location. So right now we have a location just for Propco under each entity, but we need to have a location for our operating entity and our property, Propco. And then we connect to the location from procurement partner to location. So we're going to have to start doing transactions at the location level. Go ahead. What's your question?
What, isn't that the case that we already have that at the W group? We already have separate locations, and I thought that was
Correct.
the issue. He was
It's
having trouble.
The issue is that we have procurement partners connected to the entity level, the E
So it's
level.
all going to E800.
No, right. And across all of our entities, right? They're all being connected to the entity. If you think of our database hierarchy, it goes entity, then location. So it's all connected to the entity level, at the entity level, right?
Okay,
But if we start transacting across our entire portfolio at the location level, then we say, hey, procurement partners, just connect to the location. And then it'll work for the W group.
I see.
We say,
I'm starting to
don't-
see what you're saying. Okay. Because it's
Right,
all
so-
going to the entity level as opposed to the location level, even though they're different locations. I see what you're saying. I got it. I took me a second to process.
yeah, so
This,
like think about it as a database, right? The
Yeah.
database and the fields that are being populated right now in every other facility, we don't have a location. We only have the column that says
Entity.
entity completed. But in the W group, we have a column for entity and a column for location.
location.
And we only have it connected to the column that has entity. Okay, I said it like 3 different ways. I'm sorry.
No, but I got it. I got it. It took me a second to
Okay.
realize. Got
Okay.
it. Okay.
So I think that's what our issue is. It's just it's good. I think I've been waiting to talk to Sage and have them validate my suspicions. Wilson, are we still doing that meeting with procurement partners, like that weekly meeting? That woman went out on leave, so
So she's back.
she's
Um,
back.
Yeah, but she never set that up again. They've been busy working on the separation of
Windsor
from Windsor, which is now done. We're just Jake has been working with Joe to ensure that everything is working correctly.
Okay. All right. So I think you understand my question. Can you pose that to them, procurement partners, and say, hey,
Yes, I did. We're just waiting till the end of this week to make sure that everything is working fine. And then Joe was going to get back to me. He said he spoke to Sage about what was going on, and they think they figured it out, what they needed to do. So I just want to go over that to see what their resolution was, and then we're going to see if we can test out sending a file for one of the communities under 80K and see if it comes through correctly.
okay. All right.
And if that works, then I think we can, start, pushing those through. And then the next step will be at least doing a minor cleanup of the vendor list that we have right now, making sure that we take out any duplicates and have that uploaded to procurement partners, and we'll start sending the invoices through there for them to review and approve.
Right.
And then everybody will just work on entering invoices through there, except for like utilities and insurance. I think those will still go directly into
Yeah,
Sage.
so we have to think about like, hey, if there's an underlying contract, right? So for insurance, there's an underlying contract, it's already been approved. That does not need another set of eyes on it, right?
Yeah,
For payment. Utilities, it is what it is. No need to delay the payment process. And we had to think about other vendors and payments that come through that we don't need an extra set of eyes. in regard to all the food orders, right? That all flows through procurement partners. So that's cool. Like we don't need that.
Yeah,
Okay.
How many
yeah, that was my thought,
typically,
like, just keep all those other ones. Now,
Mhm.
with the
typically,
payment run, I know I didn't give specifics on how we run that one, but I think right now we're at a good starting point to get like the outline of AP, and then we can go into the details of
Yeah.
specific processes.
Yeah. The payments, like, I mean, we used to run a whole report, everything that was out there in AP, and then filter it based on due date, right? And then we would put that into our check run. Um, and I think everything now, like you said, is just due. It's like everything is past due
Hmm.
across all of our, pretty much across all of our facilities. So that doesn't really help. But I do like having visibility on how much is out there that we will need to pay. So I want to think about our payment process. I think there's room for improvement on that, right?
No, there is, and it's difficult to get it organized because of all of the open items that we have in Sage. You know, for the historical items that were posted and items that haven't been matched with their actual payments, you know, as record transfers. So I
Right.
gave Ethel this week. We were started with the 4-pack. I got to see where she's at with that one, and
Yeah,
hopefully,
do one facility at a time, right? One group of
yeah. So I
facilities.
gave her those. We started from January. I gave her all of the transactions for that, all of the debits from the bank accounts. I was able to download those, and she's going through right now and trying to match them. But you know, 4 facilities and 5, 6 months of transactions that need to be reviewed. I don't know how long it's going to take her. And then on top of that, she's trying to deal with all these insurances that keep coming through that are getting canceled.
Are there more? I have over 220 unread
It's
emails.
I know I'm back to 104.
Mhm.
So yeah, we're trying to figure that out. I'm trying to get her to go through each account and just do a GL lookup for insurances
Mhm.
and pull whatever vendor that she has there and see if we need to if we have either a bill or something that's related to it, and then match it and try to match the online login with that.
Right. So that's certainly one angle. The other angle is we need to get accounting involved and say, hey, accounting, what have we paid historically? We had to go reach out to um, the insurance broker,
Hmm.
right? So, it's not just on AP, it's also for accounting to help. It's everyone's problem.
All right. Yeah, so this is kind of like the log that they're working on right now.
Mhm.
Mona has been working on this one for the
Okay.
utilities, and we seem to be capturing a lot of the ones that these facilities have.
Uh-huh.
She still needs to collect a couple more for a few of these facilities. But as you can see, some of these have like multiple accounts. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, what the heck?
look at this. Actually, I think she duplicated these two.
Okay.
But yeah, we have like,
Mhm.
I just don't know. Look at electric, gas. How many meters are at these places?
where's
Right.
Athens?
So she's been working on this really hard to get all of these,
Mhm.
identified. Waterford is ridiculous. I don't know why they have so many accounts. And then Wavecrest too.
Yeah, I don't see Athens in there. But
Athens,
and and Hudson.
I
Hudson's
saw
there.
There's
Hudson.
Hudson. Okay, there's
Where's
Hudson. Okay.
Athens?
Athens should be at the top, right?
There it is. Yep, there it is.
Okay.
She has them in alphabetical order. She didn't group them by.
Yeah, that's okay. That makes sense. However it works for her.
Yep. And then at the end over here, she is trying to track to see if we paid those accounts.
Okay. And that's the payment date?
Yeah, these are the payment dates. So it looks
Yeah.
like some of these are, like we have a lot of stuff. And then unfortunately, I can't pay some of these things because we just don't have money.
Which is, okay,
Can I
we're
see
gonna have to.
Athens? The last time we paid electric?
I suspect John is concerned.
I
Oh,
haven't
we
seen
just
an
paid it,
invoice. I haven't
isn't
seen
it?
a payment since November. So last year. So
Um,
I don't know if it's an auto pay or whatever the case may be, but I haven't seen
uh,
anything. So
Well, it looks like she identified them, right? We have two electric.
yeah, but there's no payment in there. So
Here, let me see. Log in. Mm, this is weird. What? Esther.
Is this file for ACH only? How about checks
No, it's utilities, insurance,
through ACH
and
only?
well, yeah, everything that's on ACH. It auto pay or if we go online and do online pays. Yeah, so I'm in this first account. Mm, this one only, it looks like they have payment set up. We just haven't been posting the bills.
at least I'm more concerned. I'm not so much concerned as long as the payment's being met. Oh.
Provides resources to other computers or devices, known as clients.
Why
on
is
the
that?
Computer network.
Alexa off. My Alexa just heard our conversation.
Wait, thank you, there's no payment there. Total amount due.
All right, well, that's good.
Let me see if account settings.
The contact information.
Enrolled in e-bills.
Okay.
Okay.
Go to profile in the center. Yeah, I wonder.
You see, that's the thing. Like, who is this?
I don't know.
I don't know who that is.
And where's the second one?
Okay, account billing. Account billing manager. Where's payment? Pay, automatic payments.
It looks like it's already set up, right?
I don't
Yeah,
know.
under it says there enrolled in e-bills. And it's checked off. So
Sign up for auto pay is not checked off. Make a payment.
So we don't know how it's getting paid.
I have no idea. So
You see, there is a saved account here. And then we can go back, return, and we look at the last payment. There was a credit. Incoming payment. Bank account. Oh, I think I had her pay this the other day. But it looks like there was a credit. All right. Well, I'll have her enter those bills. I'll tell her to pull those and enter them. There's a second account, right?
Yeah.
Esther.
Who is Esther?
I don't know. Okay, what's the
So
next
nobody
thing?
knows who
Can-
this person is. Okay.
All right, we went down a tangent. Can we
I know, right?
reel
That's
this in
my
a little
thing.
bit? I know.
Sorry,
Can we
guys.
reel this in? It's okay.
I'm sorry. That was me. I just wanted to
Oh
confirm.
boy.
It's okay. So you see, like, this is important. You know, I can see on Leah's face that she's frustrated with this conversation. However, however, this is really important. And you realize that like Wilson hasn't been able to get this under control because he started in at the in February, and since he was short staffed, right, and everything's just been thrown at him, so he's finally able to start getting out in front of it, right, and he has staff to help us with it. But you see, like, it's really important. Every time there's a trigger call, you're not involved in trigger calls. There's a trigger call 4 times a day where all the executives of Viva get on a call and they talk about different things. What happened? A resident fell. Why did the resident fall? Maybe someone's accusing a staff member for elder abuse. Maybe there's two associates fighting. They have a trigger call. And the most important trigger calls, Wilson is copied on all of these trigger calls, is the electricity went out. The Wi-Fi is not working in the building, and his blood pressure goes through the roof because he's afraid that the power was cut because we didn't pay the bill, or the Wi-Fi was cut because we didn't pay the bill. So he is really in tune with utilities because all of that has to get documented with the Department of Health, right? And it makes us look really bad if the power gets cut off because we didn't pay it, right? So I know that it's like seems menial, right? But it's really important. So anyway, so Wilson, I appreciate that you go to all those all those calls.
Get beat
There
up.
was a tornado and there was a tornado up in New York State and the power went out. So that's why it was weather related. Yesterday's. Anyway,
Okay.
Thank you,
so-
Wilson, by the way.
so
for
I
that.
just
I'm
wanted
sorry.
to give you color on why it's so important, And the first thing that they always say, the first thing that they say on the power went out or the Wi-Fi isn't working, did we pay the bill? Did we pay the bill? Right? And sometimes it's just like there's software interruption and they just need to reset the freaking router. Like, anyway. I'm not kidding. Like, it's that simple of a solution, but they have a call about it. Anyway.
Okay.
Okay. So,
Okay, so of course we do appreciate Wilson's effort among of this, chaos from the
Mhm.
beginning. And yeah, we do understand that it's a pass on responsibility and we're trying to fix past errors
yeah,
or problems, right?
yeah.
So that's why we are expecting on the next meeting that would be on Monday. So me and Alan would be doing a flow chart on the top level. So based on what was being agreed on this part and on this part. Okay,
Mhm.
so from that, actually, when you see the in that would be in the diagram format. So I think we can dig in step by step on those process. So we, for example, do include conditions if ever. For example, is this bill gonna be paid? Yes or no? What will happen? That kind of flow chart, a detailed one could help us. So expect next meeting, we will be presenting a flow chart based on the overview of discussion, and one by one we dig in. So we will be throwing
Mhm.
conversations and
Mhm.
imparting best practices as well, right?
Right.
Wilson,
Yeah.
just one thing I didn't hear in the conversation that you gave, is there a specific deadline for AP close? That
Oh,
you
that's
close the books
right. That's
Yeah,
and
so
that
right now,
process?
it is still the first, like, the first business day of the month,
mhm.
Okay,
right?
But it's been hard to stick to that because then we have to leave the books open for the EFTs,
Mhm.
right?
got it.
So they've
Yeah,
been
so I'm trying to get them to do those on a daily basis as well.
Mhm.
Like, because we do have the bank transactions that come in, um, for specific accounts. I told them I was telling Ethel if she can keep an eye on that too. But already, that's already so much that she's doing.
Right.
Aside from looking at invoices, insurance invoices, then helping me with the payment run, and now she's responsible for reviewing the record transfer transactions, that need to get posted, and
So
the research for
yeah,
anything else.
so we have to think about that, right?
Yeah.
Maybe the record transfers we need to break out. Maybe you break out record transfers to each of each facility to a different AP specialist. Maybe they each get 2 or 3 because it's too much of a burden on one person to
Yeah,
do
it
that.
is. It is. So I gotta get and that's like my other goal is to get Jake to help out not only with PEX, I'm gonna try to get him to do that, but also with the record transfers to do
Mhm.
it. At least have like one day he does it, the other day Ethel does it, because I can't
Mhm.
have everybody going in there. It'll just be a mess to try to get them to look at those.
Right. Um, okay. All right. We'll figure it. We're
But
gonna
it,
have
it would
it's
it would benefit us if they went in and did it every day, just to
right.
record.
I think that as sometimes they go in to the portal, the online portal, and make a payment. They should enter the bill right then and there.
Yeah, that's what
Right.
Mona's been doing for her utilities, and I told
Okay.
Ethel to do the same thing.
Okay. So that should help some. And then we're gonna start seeing the regular ones that are just an auto pull. We're gonna start seeing those recurring, and we're gonna get better at it. It's gonna get better. You know.
Yeah, it should. It should definitely because we're just getting everybody organized. Mona's definitely like pushing through on the utilities, trying to get these, all identified. But if accounting can help, that makes it easier for her. She'll know which vendors are the ones that she needs to go after for each facility. To get access, to get the invoices, and make sure that we're doing it on a monthly basis.
I'm trying, Wilson. I send
Yeah.
you the lists every
Oh,
every
no, keep
month.
sending them to me, and we're trying to go through those.
Okay, so I think that wraps up the topic for AP. So I'll stop recording now.
Okay.
I think I have to share just